Welcome back to Beautiful Work, Beautiful Life. You're here with two life coaches. It is a brand new, fresh year. We are recording. It is January of 2026. Laurel, are we ready for a new year?
I am. Are you?
I am ready for a new year. I am really feeling ready for a new year. Yeah, yeah,
I get excited about a new year.
I do too. I do. And I feel like let's uh let's just talk about what's on top for each of us for the new year, and then we'll invite our listeners to think about that as well. Let's talk about the practice of what's on top a little bit before
Okay, you
we roll
go
into
right
our show.
ahead.
So
Well,
it's one
wait.
of the, yeah, so let's talk about what our show topic is today. Yeah, oh, go
And
ahead.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I mean, you mentioned that we're two life coaches. That you didn't mention that we've been doing this podcast for almost 5 years.
I know we're rolling into the end of our fifth year.
And our goal is to, I'll say, normalize inner work.
Yeah.
To,
And
to
talking about inner work.
Yes,
Yeah.
normalizing that conversation. So
Yeah.
here we go, jumping into
Here we go.
another topic.
I know if you're new to our show, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we hope that you stay with us and really dig in with us to what you need for your inner work. You know, we have all kinds of topics, all kinds of conversations. And so you should find something here that's really going to support your inner work. We
Yeah.
call it the beautiful work. That's the title of the show. Yeah.
And if you haven't already noticed yet, we do this unscripted,
Yeah.
unrehearsed. We come in and we talk about a topic and what's on our mind with that
Yeah.
topic.
And we want you to join us in the same way. Just whatever, here you are, what's on your mind, and just join us in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, our topic as we kick off this 2026 is make your life easy. Oh,
Mm.
wouldn't that be so great and so
Oh my
wonderful if we
gosh.
all could just make our lives easy, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes. And having an easy life. There's so much, I'm going to say, I can already hear the criticism, the self-criticism of, you know, things shouldn't be easy. So I can't wait to talk about like having it easy, like
Right.
ease,
Oh,
welcoming ease into your life.
so good, Laurel, that you were willing to just share that you heard that voice in there that said things shouldn't be easy. Well, what if it's the voice was saying things should be easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like after many, many, many decades now of doing the beautiful work and the inner work, that life is pretty easy for me. And I will add to that, things come into my life that challenge me that could feel not easy at times. And yet I choose to work with them in the most ease filled way that I possibly can.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because, you know, ease doesn't mean that life is without challenges.
Right. Right.
It really is how we approach, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of our life with ease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about what's on top. So
Okay.
this is a practice that we use in our groups, and we love to use it right at the beginning of group, and it's really about dialing in and sharing just a little bit for a moment or two about what's on top, like what's on top of mind for you. And we do this to make life easier so that we can say, look, this is what's on my mind, but I'm here to focus on something else. And so I just acknowledge it, right? I don't ignore it. I don't bury it. I don't deny it. I just mention it, give it a little space, and then put it aside for now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Laurel, what's on top for you in the world of making your life easy or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah. So what's on top for me, and it's been bubbling up for a little while.
Mm.
But I think with the new year, I'm really ready to embrace it. And that is taking better care of my physical being.
Oh.
I
Mm.
spend so much time and devotion taking care of my emotional well-being, my mental well-being, right? And my physical well-being tends to take the back seat.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to think about that because it wasn't that long ago that, I had that commitment of walking 100 miles a month.
I
And I
remember
was
that. I
you
remember
know,
the year that you did that. That was
oh my
big.
gosh, it was
You did
huge.
so great. Yeah.
And I finished that year with 1,500 or 1,400 and change
Wow.
miles, almost
Wow.
1,500 miles. And so what what it makes me realize is when life gets full, you know, something's got to give. I don't have time for or energy for everything.
Yeah.
And so I tend to, I think I've just gotten moved away from really, really being more aware and loving, I'm going to say
Mm.
loving
Mm.
to my physical being.
Nice. Nice. Amen.
So
Cheers to that. Yeah.
what's on top for you?
What's on top for me is, I feel like, I don't know, for some reason, this is what's coming up, is my new website, right? New old website. So
Oh,
it's not really brand new, right? But it's being hosted at a new place starting the beginning of January. And so this is a great way to share with listeners, right? Sometimes we know we need to get something done, and it's kind of on our mind, and it's there, and it's on our list of things to do. Well, changing my website has been on my list loosely for I want to say 2 years. Laurel, does that sound
I
right? Me
think
talking
so.
about it and
Yes.
thinking about it and mentioning it as I scale back my business. My website needs to reflect that. And where am I going to? What am I going to do? How am I going to host it? Well, finally this year things have come together, right? And I've talked about it and I had a plan of how it was going to happen. I even knew who was going to execute it for me and do the behind the scenes work. And I kind of knew what I wanted on there. And finally it just really came together right at Thanksgiving while my family was here and we were
Mm.
talking about it and now here I am launching it. And so sometimes, what's on top does need to be set aside for a time. It doesn't always happen in the time we want things to happen.
Yes.
And sometimes that's okay. I feel like it's come at just the right time now, right? I didn't force it. I didn't make it happen. I didn't try to decide, wow, this is a project that needs to happen immediately because it didn't. I kind of knew it didn't. It could have happened, but it didn't really
Yeah.
need to. So I think, this idea of making our lives easy is also our ability to tune into what really is essential and what is not. And I
Mhm.
feel like you like right there, you were like, what's essential right now is I've got to pay attention to my physical body and
Yeah.
yeah, do better
And,
there.
and
Yeah.
you know what I love about both of these examples
Yeah.
is I'm feeling or sensing this detachment to the outcome, right? That
Mm,
I'm like, in the past I might have said, "Oh, I'm going to lose this many pounds or I'm going to walk this many miles." But now at this stage in my life, I want, it's not easy,
mm,
but I want ease in how I approach my priority of more focusing on my physical well-being,
yeah.
right? Because and I also hear that a little bit in yours that you have known that your website needed to be changed or updated as your life and your business change,
Mm,
but it wasn't the forcing of it.
yeah.
It wasn't the narrow view of how you were going to do it.
Yep.
It
Yep.
was kind of the magnitude of and the openness of this needs to be a priority and it will come together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that part of, when you say knowing yourself, right? We talked about that a little bit. I don't know if we did it before we actually jumped on and recorded here because we'll come back to that. But, I know myself well enough now that I was born under the rooster.
Yes.
So I'm a rooster, right? Like I'm up at the crack of dawn. My most productive time of day, can be like the first hours of the day when I'm creative and I'm baking in the kitchen and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And and then later in the day, I'm kind of like, well, whatever, I want to chill. I want to do less. And so, for me, now I know like things like when it comes into me, oh, I need to update my website. I may be way ahead of when it needs to happen in my mind and in my knowing. And so I've learned that some of the times I just have to stay with these things and wonder, how do I want it to be? What's this about at this time of my life? Like really allowing myself to live into that's coming forth
Yeah.
and not trying to force it. like making it easy, making
Yeah.
it flowy. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that is so incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it reminds me of kind of my dream of moving to a new home, which I did last year. But, have like holding that as a priority in my life
Yeah.
without forcing.
Hmm.
And it just there's something magical about that to have, the desire and be able to just create space and not let it become a forgotten priority.
Yeah. Yeah. Or try to shove a busy force
Yes.
into life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like you did that really well. And look at Laurel, if I had to reflect back to you kind of what I've seen through your move, right? And what I've heard through you is like it's really given both of you renewed life in a lot of ways, both
Oh,
you and your
absolutely.
husband, right?
Absolutely. It
And so it
really,
was the right thing,
yeah.
but the time you had to kind of wait for that timing to come in, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting because I think it reminds me of, discussions about manifestation, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Like bringing to life what we want
Hmm.
with ease,
With ease, yeah. And some of that
making
is
it
clarity.
easy.
Yeah,
Some
and
of it
part of
is
some of it
clarity.
clarity, right? And
Yeah.
so if it's not clear right from the beginning, it's how do you sit with it long enough for the clarity to come forth. It's almost like you stay with it and you keep polishing the mirror or the
Yeah.
lens, right, that you're looking through until it's finally like, oh, this is how and now and then allowing it to really,
Yeah.
then allowing yourself to leap almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the divine timing, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk for a minute about divine
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Divine timing for me is something that is hard
Yeah.
to stay grounded in.
Surrender to.
That's right, surrender
Yeah.
to, right? To
Yeah.
allow.
Yeah.
Because the world we live in and our humanness, we really do get caught up in the planning, the scheduling, the doing, right? And we spend a lot of time in the how to make things happen. At
Yeah.
least I do.
Yeah.
And so being able to really stay grounded in divine timing, knowing that, something something that's on top for you will come with ease, especially when the divine timing is right.
Yeah. So it's never easy to set something aside when you're a person that latches onto stuff, when you're a perfectionist, when you're a control freak, when you're a,
A
obsessive kind of,
doer, a
yeah,
doer.
doer, right? It's not
Right.
easy, but it's a practice and you do get better at it with practice. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
I do.
Yeah. So those of you that are listening going, "Oh yeah, that's easy for you to say, but I can't really do that because it doesn't work for me." It's like, well, it gets easier with practice, like the
Yeah.
putting aside and trust and the trust of divine timing. Like I've had enough experiences now of feeling like it's come in when it's supposed to come in and things have worked out. It might not have been the picture of what I thought it was going to be, but it's good. And so I know it's right and true for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes with, again, the practice of seeing it, having it happen, and then making sure that you're paying attention to that and saying, oh, that didn't come in my time. That came in I guess, divine timing because it feels right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Laurel, what's guiding you this year to make your life easier? Are you tuning into, do you have a word? Let's go to there. Because I feel like a word can sometimes make our life easier.
Yes. And I
So,
know, I feel like we have done this every year, talk about our word of the
yeah,
year.
because it
And
does make my life easier. It's a touchstone to come
and
back to.
I am so in awe that your word of the year comes to you much earlier than mine. My
Rooster.
word, you're a rooster. My word of the year has really not come through yet.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
but the question of, what will guide me um to have more ease, to have more flow, I like to throw the word grace in there too, right? To
Yeah.
live with more grace and ease and flow this year,
And to take care of your physical body.
and
That's
to
where you
take care of
started,
my physical body.
right?
For me, it all comes into creating more spaciousness in my life,
Mm,
learning how to unbusy myself. And
mm,
I don't know, because I do think, I mean, I tend to over, uh, I was going to say overcommit, overextend, but those aren't the right words. I,
okay.
I tend to over enjoy.
Mm,
And so I, I have a lot in my life because there's so many opportunities to do and have things I enjoy. And so this spaciousness of it may be okay, I'm just talking out loud here, Laurel. Hold
yeah.
on.
Yeah, we're with you. We're with you,
It
Laurel.
it might be it might be relying on my belief that there is ample time,
Mm, mm.
not to do it all or to have it all, but there's ample time so I don't have to do it all or have it all right now.
Wow, that's really good. And I want to dial back to probably where we started before we actually started recording the podcast,
Yes.
which was the idea of structure.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so before we jumped on our recording here, folks, Laurel was talking about how she needed more structure. So that's interesting, Laurel, putting structure together with spaciousness.
Mm,
So for many of you out there, like as you're listening to us muddle through, our own experiences here, right, is we all do this, right? We all like look at our lives and go, "Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, or I need this, or I need that, or I want this," right? And so let's come back to how do you make your life easier? Okay, what do you want? All right, so that's where Laurel started. What do you want? You want to feel better in your body. You want to take more
I
care of
do.
your physical
Yeah.
body, right? And so then she's like, "Okay, what's my word, and what do I need for that?" Right? And
Yes.
then you were at spaciousness, but before you were at structure.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do we put those together? Like, is there a word in there, or is one of those words pinging as maybe a word that can help guide you into the year in a way where it's allowing you to live into what you really want, which is taking better care of your physical body,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. The word isn't coming to me, but all of that, I mean, the words that we've been talking about really are really good, kind of setting the stage for
Yeah.
what that word is.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like sometimes we have more than one word. Sometimes it
Yeah.
comes in as a phrase.
Yeah.
Sometimes it develops over the year as like almost a sentence, right? And so allowing ourselves to let the words be there. If there's more than one, it's okay,
You know what
right?
just came through?
Right.
Abundance.
Oh. Hmm.
Because when I think about spaciousness, it is an abundance of space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit with that for a little while, Laurel. Thank you so much for guiding me through that.
You are welcome. You are welcome. I feel like, look, the coaching, the work, and the self-coaching, right, all comes through. We're here to have the conversation so that you can be with us to see how it happens, right? And
Yes,
to how to have this inner work talk and talking about this beautiful work as just part of your daily experience with some trusted others in your life.
yes,
It's so important. And even if you have a coach or you have a counselor that you go to, having trusted others where you can have this kind of everyday conversation expands this into a way of life. And all of that helps the work happen with more ease and more readily.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's feeling really good.
Yeah, really
And
important.
so
Yeah.
so what about you? What's
So yeah, my word did come in early, right?
yes.
And it was interesting because my word last year was express, and I felt like it was really about my creative expression. And now that the year is closing, has closed, right? And I'm looking at that word, it feels like it makes more sense that this was a year of the dynamics of my life coming together in a way where I got to express more of me and experience a fullness of me, going back, almost going back in time and like revisiting some of the earlier parts of myself that kind of got set aside and lost along the way and things like that. So it's been a cool year of like, because that's the other thing about our words, right? As we stay with them and we think we know what they're doing, sometimes they've done something else. And it's a surprise, like at the end of the year when you go back and you look at it all.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, so if you had a word last year, make sure you take some time to reflect on that word. I know, we do at our solstice fire in December, we come together and we actually release our words. If you're feeling like your word has done its work with you, you want to let it go and you want to thank it and really do a little ceremony around that because it's really important stuff. Now, this year the word came in I think in October, late October, something like that. And the word was recreation is how I heard it. It wasn't recreation, it was recreation. And I felt like, oh, that's interesting, recreation. And I thought, oh, am I recreating myself, my life? Am I recreating I don't know, my decor?
Yeah.
And so who knows? Who knows what it'll actually look like as the year shapes up? But what I already feel like as I'm looking on the horizon of my life, right, is I have this new grandbaby coming in. I already have plans to travel there and spend time, to be near that child when it comes forth into the world. You and I are talking about having a trip together, me coming up to New England and spending time there and seeing some old friends and people. And then David and I already have a trip planned to down, to the warm weather in the midst of the cold. And so I'm already looking at my first quarter and I already have a bunch of trips on the horizon. All right. So that in itself forces me to recreate my by the way I've been looking at travel for the last years, Laurel.
That's
Because Laurel
right.
knows I've been resisting, right, these long, lengthy trips. And
Yeah.
now I already have half my year scheduled to be away, right, from my
Yes.
home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's recreating a sense of myself and my fluidity and my willingness to get up and go and live life in many places. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you were talking about your word um, for last year, expression,
Yeah.
right? And really looking back, I don't know the words that you use, but you were describing kind of back, this backward review of your life.
Yeah.
But last year, witnessed several things in your life change and shift that were very forward,
Mm,
future
yeah.
becomingness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of them, you had a marriage in the family. Your son got married,
Yeah.
and you have a new grandchild coming,
Yeah.
and you had a child who have a child who had I don't know what the word I want to use, but a a, a birthday that was remarkable. It was a birthday to recognize
Yeah. Yeah.
as a threshold.
Yeah.
And so here you had with your family and
Mm,
the experience of your life, so many forward things happening,
yeah.
events, occurrences, right? Experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's interesting that kind of saw your word of the year as a look back, but what you were living as you were living into your word of the year was very much forward.
Yeah, I think that's part of the recreation of
Yeah.
it, right? Is this sense of if you think about all those events in my life, it was part of me almost claiming, right, like what I had created and expressed so far in my life through even the mothering of my children, and now becoming a grandmother and being a grandmother in the world and my work, right? Even the website, right? Recreating my website is a recreation of me showing up, at large, right? As a professional in the world, and letting that be known that this is how, I'm sharing my work now with the world.
That's right. You are recreating
Yeah.
the way that you share yourself with the world.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so as we kind of wrap up here and we talk about, for our listeners, let's do some journaling questions, kind of riff
Okay.
off of where you and I went with our, kind of looking at the year ahead. And also I want to encourage people, if you didn't listen to our year-end wrap up, our show, it's really great to put these two things together because we really focused on closing out the year and really focusing in on your emotional life. And I feel like these two things together can be really powerful for, being able to set you up nicely for making your life easier next year.
Yeah.
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 This year. Yeah.
Yes. So some journal prompts that come
Yeah.
to mind. Um, I think the first one I would ask is, where do you want more ease in your life?
Yeah. 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 And I would say, what's hard right now?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you can't figure out where you want more ease, let's look at what's hard. And I would guess, right? If you're out there listening, I'm guessing that's probably where you want more ease if it's really hard. Yeah.
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 Um, and then where do you already have ease or flow?
Hmm.
What what comes easy for you,
Yeah.
right? What comes easily through you?
Oh, that's great. That's great. And how are you showing up there
Yeah.
versus where the places that it's hard? Can you identify for yourself how you're showing up, how you're thinking about it, your attitude towards it, how you approach it? Yeah. I think those all would be
And
really helpful.
the
Yeah.
embodied self-awareness, I'm going to say, of,
Mm,
when you think about something that is easy for you or comes to you with ease,
yeah.
where you show up with ease, what does that feel like in your body?
Mm,
And
so,
how can you recreate that feeling in the places maybe that don't come automatically with that feeling, right? Recreate that feeling so you can bring that energy with you into a situation that is not easeful.
yeah. We're going to actually have a guest in March this year, everybody, just for a little um I don't know, teaser for the year
Yeah.
ahead. I have an interview with a woman who has written a book called The Feeling Muscle,
Mm.
and we talk a lot about this body self-awareness. We're going to be really digging into that in March with her, and she's great. She's got a lot of great info on that. And so if you know that this is an area that you struggle with a little bit, or you don't really know a lot about, you're not really sure, how to go about what we're talking about, make sure you come to the show in March and listen in when I'm having my conversation with Jen Rapkin, because you'll find that that's going to be really helpful for you. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't wait for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are wishing everybody well in 2026. We are hoping that your inner work evolves to a beautiful place this year, that, yeah, that life really looks more beautiful as the year goes on.
Yeah.
That's what my wish is. Yeah. How about
Yes.
you, Laurel? Anything coming in for you to
Oh,
wish our
I think what's really
listeners?
coming in as
Yeah.
we start the beginning of a new calendar year,
Mm,
you know, bringing some patience, right? Bringing some spaciousness to your life
mm,
so that you don't have to accomplish it all right away,
yeah.
right? You don't have to just flip a switch and all of a sudden it's easy. That's not what we're suggesting.
Yeah.
It is allow yourself to begin, open yourself to maybe your word of the year, a new
Mm,
way of being, or just more self-awareness of how you're how you're showing up as the creator of your beautiful life.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, I got a great interview for everybody for next week, so don't miss it. We're going to be talking about your your relation, your home, your relationships, your life, and putting those pieces together and connecting them. So we're talking about making things easier. Tune in next week, and we'll talk about steps in that direction at
Oh,
home.
that's
Yeah,
a good
great.
conversation coming our way.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Laurel. We'll be back for more together the week after that, won't we?
Yes, we
Yeah.
will. I
All
look
right.
forward to it. Bye for
Me too.
now.
Bye for now, everybody.